Hi, it's Billy Tarasio from Modern Law Practice, and today we're going to talk about the joyous topic of firing people. Unfortunately, if you are a law firm owner, then you have had to fire people. And in my 10 years of running modern law, I have had to fire a lot of people. Today was one of those days. They're always the worst, although it used to stress me out a whole lot more than it has now. And so I want to tell you about the different ways that I have gone about firing people. In the early days, I was real bad at it. And in fact, I let myself get talked out of it a few times, which is absolutely horrible. Like if you decide to fire someone, if you truly decide to fire someone, you're firing them. If you decide to have a conversation with someone, then you're not firing them. Some of my most successful firings have been allowing people to opt out by being radically candid and helping them opt out. Now, but the decision that you have to make is if you have somebody who's not the right fit for your firm, but they're not really hurting you. Um, I had this one particular woman who worked for me, and she was loved by our team but burned out of practicing law. And she was hurting me with clients, but my team loved her. And if I were to have fired her, it would have really hurt my team. And that matters. It matters very much. And so with her, I just worked really hard to work with her to help her find her next opportunity. And that worked. And then when she left, my morale wasn't rocked. We sent her off with a party. We're still close to her. That was awesome and excellent. Other times you'll have people working for you who are hurting your firm, and then you have a couple of options. And recently this has been the case with two people on my team. One who just didn't really have the competence or the ability to do what we needed, and one who was just kind of doing his own thing to the point where he seemed checked out and not in line with our systems. Neither of those are acceptable options. So with the gentleman who seemed really checked out, I had decided to fire him, but I really didn't want to fire him. I really didn't. So we had a radically candid discussion where I said, the way that things are going isn't working. Like, I need more from you than you are willing to give. And here are the specific examples of the ways that I need you more than what you're currently doing. And you have to decide if that's something that you want to do. And that it was a great approach because it told him exactly what my expectations were, exactly how he was falling short, and then it put the question on him as to whether or not he wanted to work for modern law when it meant doing exactly what it was that I was telling him he needed to do. And he said, yes, I want to do that. I want to be here. I want to make these changes. It is unrealistic to expect people to read your mind or to meet your expectations all of the time if you don't spell them out in a crystal clear manner. And that meant sending him a follow-up email with specific line items of, here is what I want from you. Because sometimes my style of management can be a little bit confusing. I allow people to work from home. I don't have set hours. But if the team isn't getting what they need and clients aren't getting what they need and the firm isn't getting what they need, then I have to spell out exactly what that means. That has worked great. He's still here. People around him, his pod of people are happy to have him here, and that's worked great. Now, with the person who was lacking capacity, we hired her to be a paralegal, and she just she wasn't able to meet the needs of the attorney. And we did a 90-day review. We told her, hey, you're really not meeting the job requirements. We have the job requirements written out. We have competency tests. And the attorney was like, I think I can keep her as a legal assistant, not as a paralegal. I think this will work. And I really let the attorney and the managing paralegal be the guide. I knew that this person wasn't going to make it, but as long as the attorney and the managing paralegal were telling me that she was helpful to them, I wasn't going to fire her. And we finally got to a point where her direct supervisors, her attorney and her managing paralegal were like, nope, we're not getting what we need. It's doing more harm than good. You got to let her go. And at that point, I really had absolutely no guilt telling her today, you're not meeting the criteria that we need. You're not what we need at Modern Law right now. I don't have a position for someone with your skills right now. And we're better off for it. The other thing that's allowed us to do is really get some new people recruited, and solve some other problems. So sometimes just waiting and letting things play out in the time frame that they should makes things better than they ever would have been otherwise. So I do not believe that you should fire fast. I don't. I believe that you should correct behavior quickly, and you should be radically candid and honest about your expectations. But you should wait to fire someone until they are no longer benefiting your firm in any way. Because if there is a way to have them continue to benefit your firm and work out, that's a better solution. So, oh, I forgot. Then there was one other way that I had fired people in the past, and that was the way that I found online. So I looked up online how to fire someone, and it's like this script. Hey, so-and-so, today's your last day. We no longer have a need for you. Thank you so much for your service. Done. No conversation, no explanation. That works. I don't hate that method of firing, as long as before you've done that, you've really coupled it with radical candor. So, because nobody should get fired out of the blue. People should know what's coming. It's very nerve-wracking to your team if they think there's a possibility that they could be fired out of the blue. And so you really want them to see that you've given everyone every chance, because to me, loyalty and not having a turnover rate, basically nobody leaves Modern Law that, jinx, knock on wood, in the past 4 or 5 years. No one has left Modern Law that I wanted to stay, and I want to keep it that way. And that's a huge priority of mine. And so when I'm interacting with other employees, that's a major consideration that I have. So I hope that this is helpful to you, because I know all of us business owners have to figure out when to fire somebody, how to fire somebody, when's the right time. And I get it. I'm with you, and good luck. Don't forget to subscribe. So we've got more lovely tips on how to hire, how to fire, how to train, and how to manage.